Renowned for sensible but luxurious hybrid models, the new Lexus RC F looks set to follow on from the brilliantly single-minded LFA supercar and four-doors F Sports Saloon as the firm's new performance halo model in an otherwise staid lineup. Just one glance at the bulging bonnet, creased flanks and quad exhaust outlets is enough to tell you the Japanese firm means business too. Even if the firm is only expecting to sell 200 examples of the RC F in the UK each year. One engine, plenty of power. Every other performance car, think Audi RS5, BMW M4 and Jaguar F-Type R, use forced induction systems to produce their power more efficiently. Not Lexus though, it's sticking with a naturally aspirated V8 petrol, weighing in at a sizable 5-litre capacity. The result is 471 bhp, and the most powerful V8 engine Lexus has ever made. It's a familiar enough unit, donated in its most basic form from the previous IS F, but thoroughly reworked for that extra horsepower plus 54 bhp and a few nods to Euro 6 compliance and increased efficiency. The latter isn't a strong point though, with CO2 emissions of 252 gkm and a combined economy of 26.2 miles per gallon, though in our experience a real-world figure will be far closer to 20 miles per gallon instead. The stats suggest the performance is less underwhelming, with the RC F quoted as completing the 062 mph sprint in 4.5 seconds before finishing its run at an electronically limited 168 mph. You do have to work the car hard to get there though, as peak power doesn't arrive until 7,100 revolutions per minute and peak torque 530 Nm is only available from 4,800 revolutions per minute. There are 8 speeds to the automatic gearbox to help you take advantage of this, though the box is slow to change down especially and can be less than smooth under full throttle upshifts. At least the glorious engine noise, of which only a minute percentage is piped into the cabin, makes the effort required of the driver sim worthwhile. Driving modes in total: there are up to 12 different modes available in the RC F that affect the way it drives. As long as you have the RC F carbon or have specified the optional torque vectoring differential. And it doesn't even have adaptive dampers. Drive mode select alters engine output and throttle responses, as well as gearbox operation with Eco, Normal, Sport S, Sport S, Plus and Snow modes available. Swapping between the first 4 also alters the instrument display layout, and in Sport S and Sport S Plus mode the central rev counter is recalibrated to place the 7,000 revolutions per minute marker at the top, just like in some race cars. The firm's vehicle dynamics integrated management of DIM concerns the ABS, traction control and stability systems and operates in normal, sport, off and expert modes, the latter allowing more extreme slip angles than sport while retaining a final safety net. The torque vectoring differential optional on standard cars operates in standard, slalom for increased agility and track modes. All cars come with an 8-speed automatic gearbox, with manual shift pedals attached to the rear of the steering wheel, with each upshift taking 1/10 of a second. Rivals, with twin-clutch automatic gearboxes, do it faster, and this lethargic shifting is even more apparent when down-changing either manually or requesting kickdown through the gears in automatic mode. Lexus interior quality: it wouldn't be a Lexus if the interior didn't feel like it was hewn from solid granite, and it's a case of business as usual with the new RC F. All of the plastics, and there are a handful too many different types if truth be told, look and feel expensive, while the leather seats are exceptionally finished and extremely comfortable and supportive too. The rears are rather cramped though, the low roofline meaning adults won't fit easily and the small windows contributing to a claustrophobic feel. As befitting its £60,000 plus price tag, the RC F is incredibly well equipped as standard. Those leather seats are also electrically adjustable and both heated and cooled. Choose the carbon edition and leather is complemented by Alcantara. The sat-nav uses a higher resolution 7-inch screen, controlled by a redesigned touchpad controller on the transmission tunnel. A 10-speaker Pioneer sound system is fitted as standard, and can be swapped for a premium Mark Levinson system with 17 speakers. Both offer a system to improve the sound of compressed digital music files like MP3s. Safety is taken care of with 8 airbags, lane keep assist, blind spot monitor, rear cross-traffic alert and automatic high-beam headlights, while a pre-crash safety system is available as an option. Choose an RC F carbon and along with the torque vectoring differential, Mark Levinson Hiffy and the Alcantara seats, the car benefits from carbon fiber reinforced plastic CFRP bonnet, boot and roof panels to decrease weight. Available to order now, with the first examples arriving in the UK in early 2105. Read the rest of the Parker's Lexus RC F review to find out if it's good enough to usurp the BMW M4 from the top of the performance coupe chart. Performance, back-to-back with a new BMW M car, Lexus RC F performance may not be all that impressive, thanks to the naturally aspirated engine and higher narrow-banded power delivery of the Japanese model. It's a harder car to gather speed with than its German rival. You'd sum up the experience as rather busy, in fact, both in terms of gear changing and the way in which it propels itself forward. A look at the facts and figures reveals the Lexus makes a not inconsiderable 471 bhp, but you have to wait until a near headline figure of 7,100 revolutions per minute. You'll be staring at a rev to needle between 4,800 revolutions per minute and 5,600 revolutions per minute before you see peak torque of 530 Newton meters as well. Which means you really need to be in the correct gear if you want to make progress, most usually third and sometimes as low as second, as too often you find yourself languishing in eighth, requiring multiple downshifts from the gearbox, which proves rather frustrating, as the traditional automatic is slow to react and makes multiple step changes down the ratios rather than block shifting like the latest twin-clutch efforts from the likes of BMW can. Make no mistake, a faster, more faithfully reactive gearbox could transform this car. For all of that though, the naturally aspirated 5-litre V8 engine is an absolute delight to exploit, both in terms of oral edification and punch. Based on the same block that powered the old Lexus's F Saloon, with reworked internals for both more power and efficiency, it makes the most fantastic old-school noise when the exhaust's butterfly valves opened beyond 3,500 revolutions per minute. Addictively so. There are some extra engine notes filtered through to the cabin, but they're not the synthesized sound employed by BMW. And it gathers speed convincingly too, with such refinement that it's easy to find yourself traveling far faster than you might have expected to. Nail it off the line, and aside from the tire smoke there's the potential to complete the 062 mph dash in just 4.5 seconds, while the top speed is artificially limited to 168 mph, no doubt to top trump its German rival's standard 155 mph blanket limit. You really do have to be in the mood for it, exploring the top end of this engine's rev range. It's clearly a relaxing enough car to drive slowly, if you can resist the urges, with a docile throttle response and a smooth and off-shifting gearbox for around town. But to drive it quickly, making the most of the power offered, requires some work and commitment from the person behind the steering wheel. Handling: the Lexus RC F is not a light car. With most models the Carbon Edition is slightly lighter thanks to the weaved bonnet etc., weighing in around 1,800 kg. And no matter what intricate chassis systems are employed, and the RC F has more than few, it can't entirely combat the laws of physics here. It has a good go, of course, but on the track, admittedly an area many RC F owners won't explore. There's no escaping that heft when cornering at the extreme. There's less understeer than prejudice would suggest though. And in the dry the Lexus displays an abundance of grip, possibly thanks to a relatively progressive delivery of power, a sensation not quite as prevalent in its turbocharged rivals. When it does overcome the rear wheels, the RC F does so in an entirely relaxed manner, and though you have to be quick to control the resulting slide, it's not as frantic as some other models. You'll have to turn all the systems off to do so though, as in default mode the RC F is as docile to drive as its CT200H hatchback counterpart, with the electronic stability control keeping things in check. Thanks to the Vehicle Dynamics Integrated Management of DIM system, there are 4 different modes to the stability systems, range from normal through sport and off to expert. Normal does what it says on the tin, as does off you're all on your own here, while sport offers racetrack-friendly parameters for the traction control, ABS and stability system. Expert is a little confusing though, with a similar setup to off, but with an added final moment safety net developed to help prevent a spin. The optional torque vectoring differential TVD, standard on the RC F Carbon, adds another 3 modes to the car's responses with standard, slalom and track options. As a default, the standard mode settles faithfully between the optimum agility and stability, while slalom increases agility and sharpness of turn-in, and track increases high-speed cornering stability. You can also change the car's character with drive mode select, offering a further 5 different modes: Eco, Normal, Sport S, Sport S, Plus and Snow. Altering the response of the engine output, throttle response and air conditioning. There's no adaptive damping here, like its BMW rival. It also alters the instrument panel display and the slight amount of augmented sound piped into the cabin. Equipment. There are only 2 models of RC F to choose from, the standard RC F and the RC F Carbon, with prices for the former starting around the £60,000 mark, which means whatever model you choose it'll be well equipped. Standard Lexus RC F equipment. It's a comprehensive list here, with the RC F loaded with kit inside and neat details on the outside. As standard, the car rides on 19-inch alloy wheels and pierces through the nightscape thanks to LED headlights accompanied by LED daytime running lamps and taillights. The spoiler rises into the airflow at speeds above 50 miles per hour, and retracts automatically after you slip below 25 miles per hour again, unless in eco mode, when it won't deploy until 81 miles per hour, while the oversized front grille features a special motif mesh design. Choose the Carbon Edition and you'll add special 19-inch alloy wheels with bespoke design and a carbon fiber reinforced plastic CFRP bonnet, roof and rear spoiler. Inside, even the standard car feels lavish, thanks to high-back sports seats finished in semi-aniline leather, electrically adjustable naturally that are both heated and cooled, aluminium pedals and special F-Sport steering wheel and gear lever. There's colored contrast stitching everywhere, and in the Carbon model the seats are finished in Alcantara instead. In terms of onboard tech, the RCF is even more impressive, fitted with cruise control, automatic wipers and headlights with high beam assist, keyless start and dual zone climate control. Each model comes with a 7-inch multimedia screen. There's also a 4.2-inch screen in the main instrument binnacle, sat-nav, Bluetooth and a 10-speaker Pioneer stereo with DAB. The 17-speaker Mark Levinson system, which sounds superb, is standard on the Carbon model. Both use a different system to enhance digital music, helping regain some of the lost data and sound when playing compressed files. A reversing camera, hill start assist, lane keeping warning and reverse cross assist, which alerts the driver to any traffic when reversing out of a blind parking space. Blind spot monitor and front and rear parking sensors take the pain out of driving. All models come with the firm's touchpad system, which is improved over the versions of old and still found in a saloon, for example, which is better than before but not as intuitive or as easy to use on the move. Although the standard car comes with a limited slip differential, only the RC F Carbon comes with the torque vectoring differential TVD, which alters the amount of torque sent to each rear wheel to best reflect the road conditions and driver's demands, increasing agility. 3 switchable modes, standard, slalom and track, can be selected from an in-car controller depending on usage. Optional Lexus RC F accessories is the so much standard kit on offer. The optional equipment list is actually rather limited. In fact, you can only really add a pre-crash safety system with adaptive cruise control, a sunroof not on the carbon roofed models, and metallic paint. That, and the torque vectoring differential, which you can add to the standard car along with the upgraded 17-speaker stereo. These are standard on the carbon model, though. Comfort. Thankfully Lexus RC F Comfort was placed high up the priority list. That's why it's fitted with a traditional automatic gearbox rather than a swift-changing dual-clutch automatic. And on the road, it's entirely compliant and comfortable, despite the large alloy wheels, with impressive suspension response and composure. In fact, faced with a long drive ahead of you, the RC F represents an impressive companion. Save for the limited range due to below-average fuel economy, of course. And though that engine really comes on song, both in terms of torque delivery and sound, over 3,500 revolutions per minute, the lengthy gear ratios mean intercontinental cruising in 8th gear is a hushed and relaxing environment. Along with decent wide noise suppression, it's almost eerily quiet. In fact, the seats are especially impressive, with plenty of electrical adjustment along with the electrically adjustable steering wheel, ensuring the perfect driving position is just quick manipulation of the switches away. Own a car and you likely take advantage of the driver's seat memory function too, allowing drivers to swap and return to their desired position with the press of a single button. There's loads of support as well. And not just in the base and sides but the shoulder also, thanks to the high wing area on the backrest. The holes for the harnesses might be a little bit of overkill though. And unfortunately the rear seats don't prove quite as comfortable, unless you're a child, thanks to a low sloping roofline, the high seat backs in front and tiny side windows making it feel slightly claustrophobic. Practicality. It's a simple 2+2 coupe. So Lexus RC F practicality is unsurprisingly mediocre. The rear seats are far more suited to children than adults thanks to the sloping roofline and tiny windows. Certainly there's little chance of getting an adult to sit comfortably behind another in the RC F. At least up front the seats offer plenty of adjustment and space, so you never feel claustrophobic despite the sporty layout of the cabin. There is an average amount of storage space on offer though, with a large cubby under the central armrest, a slimline glove box, a pair of cup holders in the transmission tunnel and decent door bins. Plus the boot space is a reasonable 366 litres, with a large enough opening for most items to slot comfortably through, though the seats don't fold and only offer a load-through ski hatch facility. Safety. Euro NCAP is yet to test Lexus RC F safety, though it has put the AS model through its stringent paces, and that's performed well. We'd expect the RC F to do similar. In fact, so far, every Lexus tested by the safety body has achieved a full 5-star overall rating. Regardless, this sports coupe is loaded with safety tech, including 8 airbags with one for the driver's knees, lane keep assist, blind spot monitor which now operates at a greater distance than before, and rear cross-traffic alert for reversing out of blind car park spaces. And while some cars offer tire pressure monitoring, Lexus goes one step further with the RC F and a system that detects a loss of pressure in individual wheels and alerts the driver to exactly which rim is underinflated. The body shell has been constructed from high-tensile steel where possible, designed to dissipate any impact loads in the event of an accident and reduce cabin deformation to a minimum. As an option, the Lexus can be specified with a pre-crash safety system, using a radar at the nose of the vehicle to detect whether an impact or accident is unavoidable and then alerts the driver to the problem and provides supplementary braking assist at speeds of up to 37 miles per hour. A look backwards reveals the rear seats come complete with a pair of ISOFIX child seat mounts too. Reliability. As a firm whose reputation is built on customer service and dependability of its cars, it's no surprise that Lexus RC F reliability is tipped to be exemplary. The engine comes formally as F, though it has been suitably upgraded and reworked for better response, more power and increased efficiency, and it's likely to be as reliable if not more so than it was in that application. And every Lexus is screwed together with the sort of solidity and precision that would shame a bank vault. So there's no worry about errant pieces of loose trim or worn materials. A 10-year, 100,000-mile-old example should look almost as good as the day it left the factory.